Hey, what's up, beautiful people? This your girl, Miss V, and I went ahead and decided to go ahead and do part two of my story time, my spiritual journey, and I wanted to get right into what actually started me off on my spiritual journey. So I'm gonna say the biggest factor was heartache and pain and disappointment in my love life. Ever since I could remember, I always desired to feel love and be loved. I know I had a lot of love in my heart to give, and for some reason, I never really experienced it, never really felt loved. I always felt like a throwaway kid. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I could really consider myself to be the black sheep of my family. I did not grow it in the best close network of family. Actually, my family has a lot of strife in it, um, incest, molestation, uh, drunkenness, addictions, so it's a lot of generational curses in my family. And I have to say that I'll probably be the first one to break these generational curses. But I knew that something wasn't right in my life. I didn't know where it stemmed from. I besides me never feeling loved and appreciated, I was a very humble child, mild and meek. I didn't try to harm anybody. I wasn't a bully. I wasn't one of those kids who lied on people or, was really obnoxious or just ADHD ish or anything. I was quiet. I did what I was told. And, but for some reason, I got mistreated. Um, my mom, she left me with my grandmother. My grandmother was the youngest out of six children. Her mother died when she was four, so she never really got a chance to be around a womanly figure and know what it felt like to have maternal love. And I believe the father, that side of the family, which we have a little bit of Irish blood in us, Caucasian blood, okay, if you must say so. And I just felt like that's probably where the incestuous stuff came from. But anyway, I never felt protected as a kid. So I kind of just was out here, I knew that I didn't feel comfortable being, I guess, on earth. I guess, I don't know. I definitely wasn't comfortable in my family. I was a kid that didn't have very many friends. I had people who shunned me, who bullied me, who didn't like me for one reason or another. I was set up, um, teased, talked about, ridiculed. So, you can kind of imagine me being the only child. I was always alone by myself. Um, there was times where I would be at home, locked in the house by myself as a little kid because while my mom went to work. And I mean, as sad as it is, I was just a lonely child. It wasn't like, I never knew my father, so I didn't have any real close male interactions. And then when I did get around some males, they wanted to molest me. Okay. Starting with my uncle. I was 4 years old, and it went on from there. And it's like once a child is violated and stripped of their innocence at a very young age, um, they are now loaded with whatever those lower vibrational energies was placed on them by that person who uh, deceived them. And so sometimes when that happened, it puts a shock into your nervous system. It puts a shock into your aura, and you become like a blinking light to other predators who think like that. So of course, it's one of those tag your it type of situations where if somebody has done something to mess with you, mess up your innocence, mess up your aura, you're not knowing, you're not knowing that these things have happened because you're just a kid, and now you become a victim to others who have the same predatory sadistic ass mentality. Now, thankful for me, I never really got harmed in a physical way, like I've heard with other children who were not so lucky, but it still was damaging no matter what. I feel like physical pain, yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it makes you cry, it causes pain. But I feel like the most severe pain that anybody can feel is emotional pain, because your emotions are always going to play over and over and over that circumstance that caused the disruption and the dis-ease. And so it causes you, it wires your brain up to these beliefs that this is how you're supposed to be, this is how you should act, this is what people think of you, this is how you need to be to interact, and like I said, I was the only child. So it was like I wanted to feel liked, I wanted to have friends, I wanted to be around people. But once people saw how pure my heart was and how innocent I was, it was more like they couldn't wait to corrupt me in some kind of way. And I'm so grateful and thankful that I had a spirit team that has always been visibly by my side. I mean, I can explain some of the things that I went through that most children that I've heard have not been able to survive. And of course, I have not gone through anything as brutal as a lot of kids have gone through, but to know that I was protected, spiritually to protected the whole time that I had these experiences, this is what makes me so grateful and has triggered my spiritual journey. Now, like I said, I have always been on a spiritual journey since I came onto this earth, but I finally surrendered in 2016 after the last ordeal with my daughter's dad. And after going through what I went through with him and finally surrendering, saying that there's got to be something in me that keeps attracting these type of circumstances. Now, when I was a kid, it wasn't my fault. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, no child puts out an energy to have an adult person want to fondle on them or touch on them or look at them in any kind of sexual way, because it's a child. We don't come out of the womb wanting to be sexually victimized. So for sick people to sit up here and be turned on by a kid, you know, that's where their demons lie. And most of the time, when people do these things to people, it's because it has been done to them. It's like a recorder being played over and over again. You touch me, I touch you, you touch this person, that person touched that. It's just what that is. And because that's a part of them that hadn't been healed. Now, when you go through those type of traumatic experiences, now you know, it may not be a traumatic experience. Like a person might not have gotten raped, you know, but just them touching on you sends a sense of guilt, of shame, of, I know this is not right. I know this shouldn't be going on, but you're a kid and you're only doing what's being told of you because, you're supposed to trust the older people that are caring for you. You're supposed to, trust those who are supposed to be there because, for one, they're older than you. For two, they're adults. But it's so easy to take a child's innocence. And the people out here that do that, for whatever reasons, I'm not here to judge, I'm not here to shame, but I am here to say that a lot of people need healing. That's where the whole hurt people come from. So after sitting up here analyzing all of that, when my daughter's dad did what he did and betrayed me and caused a whole tower moment in my life, after me being good to him and looking out for him and doing what I thought a friend would do, and I'm finding out he's not really my fucking friend. There's people who are just users who, as long as you do anything for them to keep them satisfied, to keep them happy, That's all they care about. Fuck your happiness, fuck, any type of reciprocation on your end. And I started to reflect on all the many times of my life that I was put in these type of situations, having to deal with people just taking and taking and taking and taking and taking from me, and me being left empty. They're draining my life sources. I call them energy vampires. They're draining my life sources, my goodness, my kindness, and just like I'm a doormat, and just like, fuck, fuck her. You know what I'm saying? Shit. And there's always somebody who will look at it from a standpoint of, well, if you see a fool, bump their head. And, that's just coming from a lack of compassion. Me, I don't have a heart to do people wrong. I don't have a heart to manipulate and deceive and try to get over on anybody. That's just not me. But unfortunately and sad as so, people are out there like that because it's a taught behavior. So after I dealt with all of that, and I finally had to look at myself as the energy pool, the attraction that kept keeping these type of situations coming to me with these different people. I never really had real friends. I can count on one hand, of people I can consider to be good friends to me. But I've had fake friends. I've had men who um wanted to dominate me, wanted to control me. I'm too strong minded. I'm too strong willed, first of all. And people take my kindness they had taken my kindness for weakness. And as long as I was doing everything that they want, there was no problem. But as soon as there was opposition, and I didn't want anybody to be mad at me, I didn't want, people to not like me. I mean, for a long time, I kind of lived my life for others. I had people guilt trip me. I had people make me feel like, I always felt shamed with dealing with others. And I had to really look at myself and try to find out, where the fuck is this coming from? Why do I keep attracting these type of people and these type of situations, and these same things and these outcomes continue to be the same? So when that happened with my daughter's dad, me and God had a conversation. And I went in on God. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not putting God out there as a gender. I'm putting it out there as a energy. So whatever God is, I'm not a Christian, so I denounced Christianity shortly after the conversation that I had with God energy. But I remember going off on God and, yelling and screaming and crying. I cried every day. I cried all day, every day for weeks because I was just so torn about what had happened between us. Me and him had never had any falling out. And if we had disagreements, it was easily able to be, fixed. But the betrayal that he gave me, there was no coming back from that. So I just remember crying and screaming and yelling to God, like, why? Why did you, you want me here? Because, there was times that I wanted to leave. Like I wanted to end it all. And I was like, you got me here, and I didn't come here to suffer. I didn't come here to go through all this. I didn't come here to continue to be hurt all the time. I'm too good of a person. So at that time, um, I was gonna have a birthday the same day that I first came onto the earth, which was Sunday, June the 5th. And I ain't gonna tell you the year, but yeah, it was in the 70s. Um, and it was on under the same moon. So something told me to, well, first I was starting to look for information on how to heal, because I finally came to the realization that I had to change something within me. It's easy to blame others and say, oh, it was this person's fault and that person's fault. But at some point in time, if the same shit keeps happening to you in the same situation, same circumstances, but just different players and different characters, then there's some energy in you that has to be looked into further so that you can break whatever cycle that continues to happen. Like you're on a hamster wheel and it keeps going around and around and around. I always like to refer to the movie Groundhog Day